Movies, anime. What do these things have in common for me? Well, it's a simple case of I don't watch them. I'll have my friends who will recommend me a bunch of different anime and movies, and now I have a backlog that stretches around the world and back. So, when I actually do sit down and watch a movie, it's usually appealing to me big time. Which brings us to Wolf Children. For a bit of history, I had a friend who's recommended me quite a lot of wolf films. Like, a lot of wolf films. And of the four I actually sat down and watched, there's this, Wolfwalkers, Balto, which has like a few more sequels that I have sworn to never touch, and White Fang, which I cannot honestly remember because I rewatched the finale of JoJo's Part 3, and honestly, that just went a bit harder, I'm gonna be honest. Of the four, Wolf Children is my second favourite. I'll cover Wolfwalkers one day, someday, soon. But despite all of this, I've never actually watched it. Properly, at least. I've watched this movie twice, once on my own and another time with one of my friends. So I've decided, let's talk about it and my personal story with it. And if it makes a good video, then well, there's a reason you're watching this right now. So without further ado, let's begin. Before I talk of my personal experience, I should catch you up to speed if you haven't watched this before. Spoilers, obviously, all that good stuff, but this film, Wolf Children, is about the lives of, well, wolf children. The film begins with a girl called Hana and a man called Wolfman. Like, that's his name. That's what the wiki says, and that's what I think every source says. I think another source calls him Okami. I'm pretty sure it just means wolf. So we're just gonna go with Wolfman, because they never bothered to give him a name. The two fall in love, and Wolfman reveals himself to be a werewolf. Or, I don't know, he devil triggers into a wolf. They aren't actually really clear on this one, because he doesn't transform on a full moon, he can just transform at will, so I'm gonna chalk it up to a devil trigger. Despite this, however, they still stay together and begin living together, eventually having a child called Yuki. And then soon after that, another child, Ame. However, soon after Ame's birth, tragedy strikes. Wolfman dies. With him gone, Hana is now a struggling single mother who does not know how to take care of two hybrid children. Because of that, she has no other option but to move to the countryside to keep her kids and to make sure they get a good life. They rent a banged up house, and over time they start to fix it. With the two growing and all that nice stuff, Hana gets some help from the neighbours. It's a nice little scene. As the kids grow up, Yuki and Ame begin to learn more of the world, with Yuki eventually starting school and slowly wanting to become more human as she was shunned by her friends due to her wolf-like tendencies like collecting scraps. As time progresses, Ame and Yuki lean to opposite sides of their heritage. Yuki leads to her humanity, only letting her wolf side emerge when in outbursts of anger, and Ame leans to his wolf side, learning from another wolf and wanting to guard the wilderness. As the divide increases, Hana's conflicted as to what she should do about it, with it culminating in Ame and Yuki fighting over their heritage, and Ame running away from home soon after. As he runs away from home, Yuki is stuck in a storm at school, along with another student, Suhei, which she injures earlier. Again, this is not like a proper review, I'm just making sure we're all caught up to speed. Yuki reveals her heritage as her father did many years ago to Hana, and after a near-death experience, Hana meets Wolfman again in, like, Purgatory, I think? I don't know, it's like chapter 6 from Mother 3, and learns that she needs to trust her children, and just, they've grown up. And after Ame saves her, she lets her son go back to the wilderness, knowing that it would be better for him. Yuki also goes her own way, moving to another school while her mother remains in that little house in the mountains, sometimes here in her son's house.
Are you crying?
It's only the rain.
So, before we get to the funnies and, you know, the weird personal experience, I'm gonna be serious for a moment. This film is really, really heartfelt, and it's one of the few forms of media that's made me shed a tear, along with... It's not a fast film, and it doesn't really have a goal. There's no big bad to beat, nothing to resolve. It's just a story of a single mother doing what she can and watching her kids grow up, which is even emphasized in the credits, which is literally called Mother's Song. It's honestly a really sweet film, hence the video's title, and compared to so many of my other favorite forms of media, it's really slow, and I love it so much because it hits close to home, not because it's fast or has like cool battle scenes. There are some plot elements I've left out of my summary because, again, this video is trying to be more comedic or trying to be more lighthearted, and I couldn't do this film justice without having to make a video dedicated to it itself and not my personal story, which is very much unlike the film itself. So just go watch it, go have your time, and whatever. But for now, let's go back to the first time I watched this, when my feelings weren't as prominent as they are now. The first time I watched this film, I had that one illness that I'm pretty sure YouTube will still not let me say. The friend I spoke about told me to watch it, and so I did. While ill, 1.25 speed, while speedrunning Castlevania Aria of Sorrow at 4 AM. Not really the best way to take in a movie, especially if your mind's already operating slower and is focused on a billion other different things. Despite it all, the film did have an effect on me, as I just mentioned. Less prominent, but still an effect. Even if I was more focused on my Culeus mode run. In fact, I liked it enough to even recommend it to GameLink. You remember him? The Celeste guy? Yeah, him. I still have his gameplay. Hopefully I showed him a better run than last time. So, I told him to watch the film. And we did it together. Well...
Man, I just found this film, I've decided to watch it, it looks really good, it's good for children.
I remember we kind of made a joke of it. First off, we didn't even watch the film. We put it on silent, we just had it on in the background. Why, you may ask? Well, we got some very harrowing news.
Heihachi Mishima is dead.
I just played Tekken 5. Similar enough, right? Keep in mind, this wasn't the plan. We did both have a genuine desire to watch the film, but maybe the day before, I think like maybe the week before, we watched a ton of Tekken intros. And because of that, I offered to show him some good ass Tekken. By the end of the movie, we sat our ass down and listened to the silence. And as the credits rolled, I just said one thing. This is just Devil May Cry 3. Now, before you call me insane, you're right. Let me elaborate. Two siblings born of two different races. They lose their father at a young age and are raised by their mother. One leads to their humanity, while the other leads to embrace their more supernatural side. Also the colours. Yuki, the human, is more red, and for a lot of that film, and Ami's more blue. It's Dante Virgil. They even fight! And when I told this to GameLink, well...
Like, bro, you're a fucking idiot. It's not even like a fair comparison. They're not even similar. How you compare Devil May Cry 3 to Wolfwalkers? They're literally children. You're hilarious. One of them is about being a demon, and the other one is about wolves. You have a hyperfixation, okay? You need to seek medical attention because they are completely different. Seek help, man.
So, yeah. That's all I've got to say. Again, it's more of a short video to keep you all tied over while I work on something bigger. I do hope you do check out this film. Despite all the jokes I've made, it is a nice little watch, especially with a friend. This was just more of a story I wanted to share while my next video is in the works, so I really hope you enjoyed it. Thanks GameLink for featuring in this video. I don't know how to end this video, so it's me of the end screen back at it again. I'm not where I usually record, so sorry if the audio sounds horrible, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Was not the Mega Man video, I know, but that's going to be about an hour long, so I need a bit more time to edit that. I'm sure you get it. This video aged really poorly because by the time you are watching this, I've already finished watching All Children properly. So I decided, why not just tell a story about the first 2 times I watched it. I do hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some laughs, some chuckles, see how insane I am. But yeah, really, again, watch this film. Really good. But yeah, that's kind of all I have to say. Alright, I'll let the end screen music finish. Hopefully it's something good. Alright, see ya.